Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Dominion 6. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Mew. I do multiplayer Dominions videos. This one's the intro video for a Caelum series. So I'll show off the nation, talk about my god, and then the next video going up in this series will be some turns. If you're old here, welcome. You may notice this intro video is a bit pared down compared to the ones I used to make, because I realized I just don't enjoy making them and I keep putting off making the intros, so let's make them differently. Let's just jump straight into looking at the nation and the god. That seems like a better way to do things. Yeah, so Caelum, Eagle Kings, we're in the early age. I have mentioned Caelum a little bit in the Moobad series, mostly to point out how horrible I think this nation looks. I don't like the look of this nation at all. So, you know, we're all fascinated and drawn to things that disgust us, so here's me picking Caelum to play in the next game I join. Let's read the national features after looking at the commanders and stuff first. But generally speaking, spoiler alert, all of the units are garbage, and Caelum units in general are garbage. Let's check it out though. So, Scout is a Scout. Scout's good because it's a flying Scout, which is pretty sick. I guess it also has a bunch of shock res, cold res, ice armor, and storm immunity. Not sure if that would ever come in handy, but you never know. By the way, it's a flying Scout, so that's a pretty good start. Next up we have a 100 leadership plus 1 for 3 leader. 105 gold, okay. Flying leader, also pretty good. So far so good on the commander front. Spyhorn Seraph next, okay. 7 research for 65 gold. Could be worse. That's probably one of the best research mages you could recruit. Only 2 rec points, get them out of every fort. Sure. I think air is probably one of the better paths to get level 1 in as well, because as long as the storm goes up, they can all power, and then they're an A2 mage, and they can do lightning bolts, and that's a fine spell. The orb lightning as well, right? I'm pretty sure orb lightning is A2? I could be wrong. Iris Seraphine is our priest. These are stealthy and H2, so again, not too bad. They're F2 in combat if you put up Phoenix Power, I suppose. Also a pretty good path. That's Fireball. And as we all know, in every video game, if you're a fire mage, you don't need any spell except Fireball. So again, I'm not complaining, that's pretty good. And the downside of being an F1 mage is you can't really do anything outside of combat, really. You can forge some basic fire items, I guess. Dragon Hat and stuff like that, but can't Auspex, unfortunately, and it's very hard to make boosters, so other than that, you know, so far so good for commanders. You know, pretty good nation in terms of commanders. Arab Seraph next, okay, great mage. These are either D2 to do Skelly spam, or A2 to do more lightning bolts and thunder strikes. Or they come with a point of earth, which, you know, means they can summon corpse constructs, which I love. All in all, you know, 160 gold for a Wreck Anywhere D2 mage is pretty sick. We'll need your undead units around. Nothing to sneeze at. I mean, so far so good. We have nothing but 5 winning commanders, if you ask me. There you Seraph. I don't think these are quite as cool as the Harabs, I'll be honest, but slightly more expensive to get an A2 mage. If you really just need more Thunder Strikers though, I mean, sure. Have these guys to chuck up Storm Power and then ta-da, another A3 mage. I feel like spamming Thunderstrike on just pure air mages is not super good though, because it just costs so much fatigue to cast. You get off like 2 casts of it and then you're asleep. But yeah, sure. A bunch of Water 1 mages might be something as well, if you ever need to do a bit of Frozen Heart spam. It's always really nice to have a bunch of guys that, you know, can Cloud Trapeze and then do something, so yeah, why not? Cloud Trapezing Frozen Heart spammers sounds decent. Probably get some use out of that. So yeah, again, not my favorite mage, but these are all pretty good commanders so far. Merya Ahu, a sacred leader that only has regular leadership. But it is stealthy. Yeah, okay. Not as cool as these guys, but sure. And then we have one of the greatest commanders in the game, the Eagle King. This guy is cool. All of these guys are A4. I mean, they're very expensive, sure, and they're cap only, and they're 4 rec points. Yeah. but goddamn, these are king mages. Easily one of my favorite commanders in the game, now that I've been able to actually play Caelum for a bit. These are up there with, like, Flagrant Tyrants for me, as, like, goddamn, I love these things. Yeah, let me give you a little spoiler on how you play Caelum. All these things in the units row, these are garbage. You don't use any of these, don't recruit any of these. Forget these things exist. They stink, they're bad. They will disappoint you. These guys are pretty good though. And this guy, this is the greatest thing ever. These guys can solo armies, they can take over the world. You need as many Eagle Kings as possible. You need to look after them, you need to care for them. You need to give them little kisses every night before bed. And tuck them in. Because these things are so sick. A4 is incredible. They still have kind of the same issue where you can't really spam Thunderstrike because it costs so much fatigue. But at least they might be really high Air Mages. They could potentially be A6 in combat. Or, you know, they're Earth 2 and can put up... this is a very low chance, by the way. But they could be Earth 2 and put up, you know, summon Earth power. Or just give them an Earth gem. Fair enough, right? They can also do weird stuff like Freezing Mist as well. Although I guess these guys can too, right? I'm pretty sure Freezing Mist is... Or is that a water and then low air spell? I'm not sure, but either way, let's be honest. There's one thing you're going to be casting with these guys, and it's probably Thunderstrike. Or, more specifically, which is what I'm going to show off, is Shockwave. Because these guys were built to Shockwave things to death. They are incredible chassis. They have great stats across the board. They also have really good magic resistance, which is pretty sick. 19 hit points is nothing to be sneezed at. On a size 4 unit, so you get 2 on a square, that's okay. I guess you could do larger and then you'd exactly fit 2 on a square. Would you want to do that? I don't know. I didn't. I guess you could. And they come with a little bit of ore. They're also Holy 2 mages, which is great. Ore 3, which, I mean, that certainly makes it pretty hard for, you know, pretty low morale, mundane stuff to hit them. 20 shock res, which is very important because, you know, these guys are going to be dumping an awful lot of lightning damage on themselves a lot of the time. So, need to make sure this is up there. And a bit of cold resist as well. They are magic beings, which is kind of, you know, it would be better if they were not magic beings, but hey. They fly and they're immune to storms. These are the backbone of the nation. They basically are the nation. This nation is basically Eagle Kings with some other guys, you know, flapping around them in the background. That's my verdict anyway, after playing them for a bit. Amusingly low combat speed. Because they're wearing a fireplate, interesting. They're wearing a fireplate, but they don't have fire res. Wait. That seems unfair. Sure, okay. But yeah, that's my verdict. This is actually pretty sick commanders, all things considered. I can feel a bit underwhelming sometimes, but really it's just the mass, you know, armor negating damage evocation path. That's basically all it is now, I think. Plus some, you know, a few bits of utility, fire trapezing and, you know, dark skies and all that kind of stuff. That's the commanders. Now, unfortunately, we do have to look at the disappointing roster of units. So, garbage, 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 garbage. Alright, you know what? 10 shock res. That makes these guys useful. You know why? Because they can potentially bodyguard an Eagle King and not immediately die to Shockwave. So, these are not garbage, these are D tier. So, nice work. The fuck is this? Garbage. Super ultra giga garbage. Like, this is some kind of wet sludge beneath the garbage pit. Yeah, let me recruit a thing that can't fly on my flying nation. Like, no. And Murray Warriors. Alright, these are alright because they're sacred. I mean, you can do something with them, right? And that's it. That's as far as my analysis is going to go on units. Don't ever recruit these things. They suck. The only thing they're ever going to do is die and cause an HP rout. We don't want that. We just want these guys. That's it. Okay? So, that's my analysis of EA Caelum. Now, I'm sure other opinions are available, and that's fine, you know? There is no correct way to play Dominions, no matter what any content creator tells you. Yeah, I just used the term content creator, okay? That's how real I'm being right now. You can play this game however you want, okay? It's a game of myriad possibilities. And my personal opinion is that all these units are shit and you shouldn't recruit them, okay? But feel free to play it differently than I do. As it is, though, that's my verdict. And so here is the god we're going with. We are an imprisoned demi-lich. We have... Let's see. Let's talk about scales first. Why not? We are dumping every scale related to economy. Why? Because we don't want to recruit any of our units. All we want is, honestly, 555 gold per turn. If we've got that, hey, we're fine. If we need new forts and things, hopefully we get some luck events, give us some more gold. That'll carry us through building buildings. Magic 2, absolutely, sure. Let's get magic and luck. Hopefully get some research done quickly. We really need at least enough research to get to this spell at Evocation 2. This is the spell that Eagle Kings are going to be casting when things get near them, which will just obliterate whole squads of, you know, basic units. You may notice that this spell, in addition to doing 9 points of armor negating damage, that is +1 per level, so that's linear scaling on damage, plus 10 fatigue, and has a 75% cast time. They can cast this a billion times and never get tired of casting it. And believe me, I never get tired of watching it. It's a shame that AoE doesn't scale. That would be completely broken. We really want that. We also, I think, just to be on the safe side, need some alteration research early as well, to try and make sure that our Eagle Kings do not die, because every time an Eagle King dies, you die in real life, unfortunately. So, yes, these are our scales. That's what we're going with. In order to pay for what is, of course, an Eagle King Bless. The main thing we want to work on for Eagle Kings is make sure they don't get hit. So, in this case, I've done defense and awareness. Probably other things you can do, but I mean, stacking onto their defense looks pretty well. They start off with 12, so that's going to be 16. And then, obviously, they can cast all kinds of self buffs. So, Quicken Self gives them some defense. Flying Shield gives them Protective Force. Mistform, you know, reduces any damage they do take. And so on. We just want to make sure they get hit as infrequently as possible, so that they can cast in combat, because as soon as they get off Shockwave, everything that's hitting them will just die. And that's the plan. So, defense, awareness. I then went with Enchanted Blood, because I kind of just like having Enchanted Blood on units that can cast Mistform. Because obviously Mistform reduces all the damage you take to 1, and then Enchanted Blood gives you basically 1 regen per round, so it's kind of nice, right? Also stops you dying from bleed and stuff like that. It's just a nice bit of, like, baby regen. Fire Reinvigoration, because, hey, I can get away with it, and that's also kind of sick. Again, we just want these guys to be able to just cast spells as often as possible and as frequently as possible. We also want them to not get hit, and if you start generating a bunch of fatigue, you're going to get hit a lot more. So, the more we can keep their fatigue down, the better. So this is also to help them not get hit while they're casting in melee. And then we'll stick shock resistance on the Bless as well, because, yeah, we do have a lot of Sacreds we can recruit, and making sure that they're resistant to, you know, lightning damage is going to help us out an awful lot, especially later on. We have we have all kinds of summons we can do. Let's see, national summons that are sacred. Aranis, I think, are like water mages. Yazatas are... I think these are like There's like two different types of summons we have for units. These are like holy units, I guess, but they're like kind of air and ore related. And then there's divas who are more like fire and fear related. But they're both sacred units, so stick some shock res on those guys. Don't know what a Jahi is. Or a celestial Yazad. I mean, the later summons we'll just see eventually when we get to them, but, you know, if we get to them. But really that's it. This whole game plan just revolves around getting Eagle Kings up and running. In test games, it usually comes online about turn 8, maybe turn 9. Because we just need to get those first few mages going and get those first few bits of research done. But as long as we hit that point, we will just basically just transition to sending out Eagle Kings everywhere and killing everything with them. That's the plan, anyway. Will it work out that way? I don't know. Remains to be seen. But that's the plan. So there we go. That's my analysis of Caelum. That's the god I've gone with. So I hope you enjoy the series. It should be 2 videos per week on a regular schedule now, because I'm over my long period of ill health. Well, I'm over my most recent period of ill health, but hey, my body stinks, so who knows what the future holds. But yeah, it should be 2 videos a week, and you know, next series after that is a really weird one. So if you enjoy this series or any other series on the channel, make sure you do the YouTube stuff, like the video, and what's the other ones? Subscribe and comment and whatever. I don't know. Share, is that a thing? Mega chat, I think, is a thing. Whatever gives me money, that thing. Join my Patreon, you know. Just, yeah, you know the stuff. Just do all that stuff. And the next time you hear from me, it will be turn 1, 2, 3. So come back then. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.